Chairman of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement, Mr. Stanford Callender, Political Leader of the People's National Movement, and Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Deputy Political Leader of the People's National Movement, and Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Kelvin Victor Charles and Mrs. Charles, Member of Parliament for Tobago West and Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, the Honorable Shamfa Kojo, Area Representative for Providence, Moriah Mason-Noel, and Assistant Secretary in the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment, Assemblyman Sheldon Cunningham, Lady Vice Chair of the People's National Movement and Minister of Planning and Development, the Honorable Camille Robinson Regis, General Secretary of the People's National Movement, Senator Foster Cummings, Deputy Chief Secretary and Secretary of Finance, Mr. Joel Jack, all officers of the People's National Movement, Tobago East family, PNM family, good evening. I want to take us on a journey. I know sometimes people say that we tend to look back too much, but for those of us who love our heritage, for those of us who love our culture, we know how important it is to reflect. We know how important it is to look back, to know where we came from, to understand where we are, and to progress forward. PNM brothers and sisters, I want to start this journey by reflecting on what we would have inherited. In 2015, you gave the People's National Movement a mandate. You asked us to work with you and for you. You asked us to take Trinidad and Tobago out of the abyss of corruption and mismanagement and to take us forward as a nation, as a people. You asked us to work together to transform our communities and transform our people. The hand we were dealt with wasn't what we expected, and we had to make some very, very hard decisions. But Tobago East, you know as well as I know, that every time Trinidad and Tobago has to depend on a man to take us out of problems and take us on the road to progress, Tobago East has always been the one to deliver. We delivered at a time when the country was going through some very, very difficult times. Ayanna Robinson, a Tobago East man. And again, we delivered the Honorable Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley at a time when Trinidad and Tobago was going through difficult times. And both times, our men, our Tobago East men, were able to do the job and take us forward. That is why it is important for us to look in the past to know where we are going. PNM brothers and sisters, Tobago East people, we had difficult economic times, but regardless of that, our Prime Minister, our PNM government, our Tobago House of Assembly made it their duty to ensure that Tobago East was never left behind. So this evening I could stand here proud, my head held high, knowing that for the first time ever, Tobago East is getting the attention that she rightfully should get. For the first time ever, Tobago East is not being left behind. For the first time ever, Tobago East is standing proud and tall next to her sister, Tobago West. And that is all due to the hard work of the People's National Movement Central Government and the People's National Movement Tobago House of Assembly. PNM family, that is something to celebrate. A few weeks ago, I would have gone through my constituency and I've gone to Mount St. George, interacting with some of the agricultural workers there, interacting with farmers. And I saw all the desire and the hope for them to boost the agriculture sector, for Tobago to be able to feed herself, and for us to be able to stand on our own. But underneath that hope was also the desire and the hope for sandals. But let me tell you all something. Sandal wasn't the be-all and end-all. Sandal was just a part of a puzzle, a greater picture to take Tobago forward and prepare us for internal self-government and more autonomy. So when the Black Crows and the Blue Lagoons criticize and cry down and celebrate the party of Sandals, let them go ahead, because we still have a plan. We still have a foundation that we can work on. You see, this central government would have invested over $20 million in developing our agricultural access roads, making it easier for those young farmers like I met in Mount St. George, and those young farmers in Louis D'Or, and those young farmers in Goldsboro, in Pig Farm Road, making it easier for them to be able to access agricultural land and develop it. Develop it for our benefit, and in the future develop it so that those visiting our islands would be able to enjoy produce grown right here in our constituency, in our communities. Despite the economic conditions, despite the cutbacks, despite the disappointment, our central government ensured that Tobago's health sector was not left behind. Yesterday, we visited the site for the new Roxborough District Hospital. And when Secretary Carrington showed me the area for the maternity ward, I was very excited. You see, almost 7 years ago, I remember the panic and the fear traveling to get to the old hospital up the fort in labor and wondering if I would make it in time. Tobago East women, Windward women, Roxborough women, Dallaford women, Charlottesville women. Soon, that fear will be a thing of the past. And the reason why I could celebrate that, because I know there was a time when Roxborough was able to have babies delivered there. My sister was born at the maternity block in Roxborough. So even in the midst of restructuring, our health sector is not being left behind. There's a commitment from the Secretary for Health, Wellness, and Family Development. And this is particularly for the people of Charlottesville who would have reached out to me last night on my Facebook page asking about what is in store for Charlottesville. Yes, your health center will be upgraded to offer longer hours of service, and there will be a doctor on site every day. That is thing to boast about, and that is thing to celebrate. Mariah not left behind, because your health center is under construction. So even though money might be tight, we're still delivering PNM style. Tobago East people, health, wellness, that is all good. But safety and security just as important. We visited this ongoing construction of the Roxborough police station yesterday, and I got excited, even though the Honorable Prime Minister is telling me that's police station too big. But you know what? We'll take it even if it's big, because we know the days of going up to the little police station on the hill. That police station has been around since the days of the Bell Manor riot. So we'll gladly accept a spanking new, state-of-the-art police station and hold our heads up high and boast because it was delivered by the People's National Movement in this time under Keith Christopher Rowley-led administration, ably supported by a Kelvin Charles Tobago House of Assembly. PNM brothers and sisters, just last week I had a consultation and a community meeting in Palatuvere. I brought out representatives from Public Utilities Ministry in Trinidad, representatives from the Water and Sewage Authority, and representatives of T&Tech. We brought them together to meet the community, to discuss with the villagers and residents of Northside Tobago what are the issues so that we could work together to improve on those issues and transform Northside Tobago. People of Lansami, people of Palatuvere, people of Castara, even people of Mariah and Masonol, I want you to know that PTSC is working to improve the bus service in this area. At Palatuvere, they announced an initiative to launch a project to pilot mini hubs, one in Castara, one in Roxborough. What that would do is break up the service, giving the drivers enough time to rest by shortening the journey and also reducing wear and tear on the vehicles. When that was announced to the people of Palatavia and Castaran environs, they were obviously a bit skeptical, but excited nonetheless. You see, those who live in those far rural communities would know all too well of times of waiting for a bus, and the scheduled time, the driver does not turn up because either he's too tired or the bus could not make the journey. By breaking up the service, making it shorter, we ensure that our drivers are well taken care of and our vehicles will be able to traverse our roads carefully to deliver our people to their destinations safely. To the residents of Charlottesville, I know when I met with the village council last week, the issues about transportation came up, yes, as well as Turpin Bend. And the Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment was there with me. And he reassured the people of Charlottesville that they would not be left behind. He gave a commitment to see what can be done to fix the road infrastructure leading into the community. And also there was a commitment from PTSC to ensure that drivers receive continuous training and development, so that situation we had a few weeks ago, when a driver did not do what he was trained to do and a bus got stuck, would not happen again. People of Tobago East, your government, your PNM-led government, your PNM-led Tobago House of Assembly is working for you. In terms of Water and Sewage Authority, we have been going to Charlottesville continuously with the support of the Tobago representative on the board. We have been meeting with the management of WASA in the community to devise ways of ensuring a better quality of water supply in Charlottesville and a more consistency in the water supply. I want to reassure you that soon and very soon, the problems of water supply in Charlottesville will be addressed. WASA has already embarked on a project, is almost complete, and very, very soon, those who live in areas such as Bel Air and Campbellton would have a better supply. So Karen Eastman, that one was to you. In the community of Speyside, recently, the Chief Secretary would have announced that extensive drainage work was done. This was particularly beneficial to a family that would have been flooded out continuously. The Chief Secretary would have mobilized his team and ensured that in Speyside, the drainage situation was addressed. So hopefully, our residents of Speyside would have a better quality of life. Tobago East people, this is your PNM government, your PNM-led Tobago House of Assembly working for you. So now I want to take us along the journey and address a little situation. Now we have some crows in Tobago. They pretend to be dove. They pretend to be defenders and champions of Tobago. They pretend to be squeaky clean and white and good and decent. But in reality, they're just UNC mouthpiece. I could say that without fear of contradiction, because I have to sit in the parliament and hear people throw talk from me across the divide to say, Watson, you come in fear. Well, let him come. This Tobago East girl already. PNM people, Tobago East people, one thing I know for sure is that performance beats all talk. So when they go about the place talking about when you see an MP, when last you talked to your MP, when last you smiled with your MP, I could let you know, I could reassure the people of Tobago East that I have been in constant contact with you every month, every day, every single year since 2015. It is my office that pioneered the roving office day. The parliament staff came from Trinidad to look at it and said it is the first time ever that they have seen MPs take the office out to communities and operate from under tent or in a shed or inside of somebody's house, ensuring to bring the service to the people. Your MP pioneered that, Tobago East. Training and development, your MP has delivered. Safety training workshop for children and adults and fishermen. Legal clinic in Roxborough and Argyle. Etiquette and protocol training for children. Training for voluntary organizations to be able to access support and funding through Digital Foundation. And coming out of that, the Roxborough Police Youth was able to get funds to establish the gym. Your MP has consistently worked with you and for you. I asked my team to pull out the records. Let's see what's happened from 2015 to now. And I recognize that I've sent over 800 letters to different organizations on behalf of constituents. I recognize that I've contributed over $50-something thousand to different groups and individuals in this constituency. I've recognized that I've made over 100 flights between Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of my constituents. I've ensured that at no time children in Tobago East come to the constituency office for advice and guidance and not deliver. I have visited the schools, primary school, nursery school, and secondary school. I've worked with the young through police youth clubs, and I've worked with the not so young through the senior citizen activity centers. I've been to the churches. I've had discussions with leaders, religious leaders, community leaders. Your MP, regardless of my quiet demeanor, have always worked with you and for you. So in 2015, when I told you, give me the mandate, walk with me, and I will walk with you, I have been walking with you. I have been working with you and for you, and we are seeing the benefits daily throughout our constituency. Tobago East, don't, as the young people say, take chin up and old talk. Now, every loud mouth is an ability to deliver. I told you all in 2015 on the campaign trail, if you take a jar and you put some coins in it and you shake it up, it will make plenty noise, right? I also told you, take $100 bills and put it in the same jar and shake it up. You won't get much noise, but more value. Don't let the quiet disposition fool you. I don't have to walk around with a bullhorn to represent you. I don't have to stand up on a desk to represent you. I don't have to walk around with a placard and protest to represent you. But with charisma, with the ability to win people over, I can represent you. So Tobago East, when some people like to say, oh my gosh, Minister of Finance, hand tight, your girl has been able to deliver. Because with the support of the Minister of Finance and the Office of the Prime Minister and the support of Secretary Carrington, we now have the Children's Authority right here in Tobago. The money was hard to find, but charm and charisma, the money was found. PNM people, Tobago East people, I want to remind you that the journey is only now progressing. We have further to go. A foundation has been laid, the work has started, but we need more time to get us to where we deserve to be. And the only team that could take us along this journey, the only leader that could take us to where our destination is Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, a PNM government, and a PNM Tobago House of Assembly. I urge you, the people of Tobago East, to continue working with your representatives, continue working with your assemblymen, continue working with your MP for Tobago East, continue working with your MP for Tobago West, who has been toiling and toiling in the vineyard. Continue working with your party, because your party has a foundation that is solid, 63 years and going strong. So continue working with us, and come 2020, 2019, 2021, 2022, come whenever, we can all shout together, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall always, always prevail. I thank you.